Rush Limbaugh is going to explain on his program that, of course, he's never called Obama Hitler or Nazi or anything like that, as he kind of does. So, I mean, let's start with the first clip here, and then you can rest assured we're going to give you some old clips of Rush Limbaugh and let you make up your own mind. Here we go. Clip number 1.
Nancy Pelosi said those of us showing up at town hall meetings were showing up with swastikas, as she said, meaning we're Nazis. We were called Nazis. At that point, I said, all right, let's do a comparison between the National Socialism of Germany, which is what Nazism is, the National Socialism of Germany, and the Obama health care plan, and find out if there are any similarities. And by golly, by gosh, there are gazillions of similarities between National Socialism in Germany and Obama's health care plan. So, Mr. Rubinsky, I have also said I'm not saying Obama's Hitler. I went into a big diatribe yesterday. You think of Nazism, we think of genocide. And when we think of that, so we can't talk about any other aspect of Nazism, which was National Socialism. Nobody's saying that this government is genocidal. Nobody is saying that Obama is Hitler. What we're saying is that this health care plan mirrors Nazi Germany's. And the Nazi Germany health care plan was the foundation from which they built the rest of their socialist paradise.
You know, I listen to Rush Limbaugh every once in a while. I go, did I just hear what I thought I heard? He's like, I'm not saying they're Nazis. I'm just saying they're exactly like the Nazis. I mean, you just heard it, right? I mean, go back and rewind if you're watching this online. Did I hear it wrong? He's like, look, it's just similar to the Nazis in a gazillion ways. Now, we tell you about the conservatives' projection all the time. They always, whatever they're thinking about doing, they say the Democrats are doing. So now they say, oh, the Democrats are like Nazis. Wait a minute. How did the liberals and the progressives become like Nazis? No. If anybody's like Nazis, it's authoritarians who believe you should bow down to the leader, when of course it's their leader, Bush and Cheney, and never question them. You remember those days. They say, oh, the Constitution's not important. Fourth Amendment. Who cares? Jose Padilla is a U.S. citizen. Who cares? Detain him forever. All those. Now, back then when we said one word, they were like, oh, you better apologize. That is the most vicious, terrible, heinous thing you could ever say. And what did I tell you guys? You remember what I said? I said when Obama gets in the government, they are not going to hesitate for a second to call him every name in the book, including Nazi. Okay. Now, if what Limbaugh said there wasn't clear enough, let's go back to August 6th, not that long ago, and see if he ever called Obama something like Hitler.
Adolf Hitler, like Barack Obama, also ruled by dictate. His cabinet only met once, one day. That was it. Hitler said he didn't need to meet with his cabinet. He represented the will of the people. He was called the Messiah. He said the people spoke through him. Now, does this sound like something any conservative president has ever done, or does it sound like the things that liberals are doing all over this country?
Was that not clear enough?
I'm not saying Obama's Hitler.
Except, Hitler ruled exactly like Obama did.
I'm not saying Obama's Hitler.
No, never that, never that. If that wasn't enough, you want another one? Let's go to August 10th.
Rather than talk about the people who raised the specter of mobs, unruly mobs, rather than talk about the people who brought up this whole Nazi Germany business in the first place, Pelosi, Durbin, and Gibbs, all weekend long they talked only about me, your lovable host.
Yeah.
Ugly, vile hate speech, no problem. Hitler had a youth movement, folks, who snitched on their parents. Obama's got an APB out for people to snitch on their neighbors. What would you call this? You got a snitch website. Now, they're out there denying it's a snitch website, but it's a snitch website.
I mean, Obama's got a snitch website just like Hitler did. Really? He had probably not a website. Okay, anyway, he didn't.
Nobody is saying that Obama is Hitler.
No one is saying that, except he's exactly like Hitler. I got you. And by the way, Obama, of course, addressed that stupid conspiracy theory that Limbaugh is putting out there, There's no snitch website. They say, hey, look, we want to be responsive to you. So if you're this angry about healthcare reform and you want to give us a piece of your mind, tell us on the web, and then we'll try to address your question. We'll respond back to you. They're like, oh, yeah, you think we're going to fall for that? You're just collecting our information. What's he going to do with it? I mean, look, these guys are lunatics. Okay, but if all of that was not enough, now he said earlier, we never said that Obama was going to go after old people. This is from the same exact show where he said, we never said that. Next clip.
There's no question that these expenses, these end-of-life expenses, are among the most costly, and they will be used to cut costs. But the thing that nobody's talking about is you don't have to be old for them to kick in. All you have to do is have a disease that the government says, we're not worth paying for this. Your advanced cancer, you could be 35 years old, and they can say, sorry. And that's where this is headed. When you boil all of this down, when you really synthesize everything Obama wants to do down, it comes down to this. Wants to put your medical records on Google, wants to have everybody be able to see them. He wants to take over control from Congress of deciding what Medicare and Medicaid will spend on who and on what. He wants the White House, he wants the executive branch to be making determinations of who lives and who dies. Nobody's saying that this government is genocidal.
Except they're going to decide who lives and who dies. They'll probably kill you. All right. So, look, this is why I get so frustrated with the right wing. And this is why I also get so frustrated with the media. Because these guys, they're in the business of lying. You're not having an honest debate. I got no problems having honest debates with people that disagree with me. I do it all the time with progressives when I disagree with them, whether it's on Afghanistan or anything else. We do it with conservatives when we can find a few conservatives in the country who are honest and actually have principles and want to defend them, and we have an interesting and reasonable conversation. But when the other side, all they do is lie, what can you do? How do you have a conversation with Rush Limbaugh, who makes up things about, how the government's going to decide who lives and who dies, and Obama's just like Hitler, et cetera, et cetera? You can't have a conversation with that guy. And then the reason I get frustrated with the media is because then they call it 50-50. They're like, well, on the one side they say there's death panels, on the other side they say there isn't. Except that's not the story. The story is there or is there not? And the answer is 1,000,000% there is not. Now, to give the press some credit, the AP did do a good story this week saying, yes, there are no death panels. It is made up. Okay, a rare case where they actually had the cojones to actually say what the truth is. Nonetheless, we have these silly debates.